The amazing atheist. Man, you're not so amazing. In fact, the more I listen to you, the more air I see between your ears. Um, and the more hit points I hear coming from the Liberal Party. So far, almost everything that you talk about is nothing more than liberal hit points. I don't understand why you can't have a great substantive debate without using the hit points that you get from your party, man. Uh, you have this great way of going and picking on probably a 0.5% of the Republican Party. So you take this old redneck, as you call him, and he made one bad point, and so you're going to point it out and use it as if all Republicans are in that coinage. Gee, I could do the same for you. Are all of you guys working at McDonald's flipping burgers? Huh? Are all of you guys out accepting welfare paychecks? Okay, so let's go back to the other side of it and have some intellectual assent when we're making debate. I think substantive debate is great. So let's stick to the issues. What you try to do is just roll up a pile of crap and throw it at one person. That doesn't work that way. The first thing I want to do too, because the other thing that Democrats are really good about doing is putting the old abortion thing and just screwing it right into the middle of everything so that it kind of is hidden and out of the way. I'm going to pull that right out. You can make any comparative differences that you want, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's not because of greed of money or politicians being slick, and it's not because of people's interests that I'm worried about with abortion. That's a moral linear. It's a moral line. The funny thing is that when you talk to people and you start really getting into debate, be they Republican or Democrat, the interesting perspective is that if on the core value, you'll find that about 95%, a very strong high number, about 95% of the people agree with the same thing. The reason why there's such a great division between both liberals and Republicans is because we know that our government has a way of taking a hold of something, and instead of making it what it originally was, they have a tendency to throw the ball way out in left field or right field, making it far greater than what it was ever supposed to be. The point is getting back to the fact that it is a moral linear. We have to think about abortion in a whole different context. I challenge anybody who watches this video right here on YouTube. I think it still exists. Go up and pull up partial birth abortion. Let's see if you're man or woman enough to watch that whole video. Let's see if you can do that. And then when you get to the end of that video, you tell me, is that murder? You tell me. Now, the reason why the left has a problem with that, they don't want to think about it. They don't want to see it. That's crazy. God, why would we see it? My point of view is to you. This is my challenge. If you can't watch it, what the hell are you doing voting for it? If it's so bad that you can't watch it, then it's too bad for you to vote on it. Let's remember that. But the most important thing is that the reason why the liberals have a problem with it, I can also give a little bit of ground and respect, because a woman should have a choice. One of the two times that she should definitely have a choice. She should definitely have a choice when it's done by rape or when there's a possible medical problem there that exists. Now, where I stop the line is when you Marxist type come back and say, well, if the baby's retarded, we should be able to abort it. That's not true. That's a Marxist. That's a Hitler. Did you know that's exactly how Hitler got his utopia going? Come on, man. You can't have that kind of philosophy. God gave that person a very special child because that special child was going to gift them in some way that they were too weak to accept. And that is a true point. But I do believe that there's got to be a point in time where it is a woman's choice. Now, some of my conservative friends may be mad and dislike my words, but even in the very beginning of pregnancy, if somebody wants to abort it, I'm going to be upset about it. I'm not going to like it, but at least I can turn my head and allow that person to say that's a family choice. It's not a government choice. But when it gets to the third trimester, and you're pulling a baby halfway out and you're cutting its spinal cord or sticking some goo up into his head, mushing its brains and sucking it back out so that you kill it before the head pops out, I got a problem with that. I got a serious problem with that. And I think a lot of you people, if you really knew what the word partial birth abortion meant, if you could physically see it in a video, you would be on my side. And if you aren't, then you're probably more evil than anybody I've ever met in my life. You go right along with the Dr. Kevorkians of the world. But getting back to the whole point of your issue, before I got off onto the abortion issue, is that a lot of these things that you keep trying to throw on Republicans, They're not Republican, man. They're not Republican. You keep talking about how Republicans wanted this and they got this, and they wanted this and they got this. It's crap. It's total crap, and you know it's crap. It's just your way of trying to pull the Republicans that are frustrated because of what happened the last time we were in power. You're just trying to pull them over to a liberal point of view because you can't do it on the substantive value of liberalism. That's the real case. So because you can't do that, you're doing what the rest of your liberal friends are doing in the House and the Senate and throughout the newspaper and the TV and all the other areas like colleges and schools. We have you guys everywhere, and we can't get rid of you. And Lord knows we do pray about getting rid of you. Somehow we hope that someday you'll wake up and have an epiphany and the light will come on and you'll suddenly realize just how incredibly stupid you guys really are. From taxing businesses and expecting them to perform as good, if not better, than they did before you taxed them, by thinking that having a socialist kind of environment where you rob from the rich and give to the poor somehow makes the poor suddenly stand up on their 2 feet and walk, when welfare has been going on for years and years and years, and what it's done is put people deeper in the hole. It's made them professional welfare people. Okay, so your programs and your lineage as far as why Republicans are terrible, it just doesn't hold water. But what does hold water is that liberal programs suck. Liberal programs suck. There's not one liberal program that you can tell me that makes any common sense. See, and that's where the real problem is. You got to stop taking all this stuff that you try to make fodder and throw it on people and expect them to understand it. And it goes right back to the same debate that I was having with you earlier about atheism. Okay? It's really funny that you can believe in Darwinism when it actually has hardly any proof whatsoever, but a Bible which has 303 prophetics in it that are actually have all come true, okay, which are more substantive than anything that science ever in their entire life was ever true on. But this one asks you just to have a little faith. Darwinism asks you to have a lot of faith. You choose not to follow God because you say he has to give you complete facts in order for you to believe in him, but yet you'll follow Darwinism, which was something that was produced by a human being, okay, that now has more potholes in it than cottage cheese. Okay, so the whole point of the matter is that when it comes right down to it, you just don't hold water. So sorry, no more amazing atheist. No more amazing atheist. You're just another human being.